Demar Derozan gives the green light to Coby White to close games. We're going to talk about that. And then we got to talk about how the hell the Chicago Bulls allowed Drew Eubanks to change last night's games versus the Phoenix Suns. We're going to talk about it, break it down. But you got to hear the music first.
Cognac. Gang.
Shy Bulls Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding down on today's episode of Shy Bulls Podcast. If you're tuning in with me today, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Now, we know that the Chicago Bulls, they took a loss to the Phoenix Suns last night, 115-113. And it was a game where at one point the Chicago Bulls was up 23 points, and then things got tight in that third quarter for the Chicago Bulls. They eventually tried to fight their way back, but a couple mistakes down the stretch, some horrible calls made by the officiating, and the Chicago Bulls eventually fell to the Phoenix Suns. And the thing is that we had to talk a lot about Coby White. Coby White has been nothing short of spectacular this entire season. It did get off to a shaky start, but after that shaky start, he planted and landed correctly on his feet, and he's been running that marathon ever since. But after the game, Demar Derozan pretty much talked about Coby White and some of the things that he could take advantage of in closing moments, as far as taking the last shot and being able to have the authority to say he wants certain plays ran. Now, I'm paraphrasing here, but DeMar DeRozan came out and pretty much said that if Coby White wants to take the last shot, all he has to do is go to DeMar DeRozan and pretty much say, hey, I want to take the shot. And DeMar DeRozan, he seemed like he was 100% sincere in his response by saying Coby White, all he got to do is say, hey, I want the last shot. And if he got it going, and if I'm feeling, and I'm going to trust him, we trust him enough, Coby White is going to have that opportunity for a last-second shot. Just like DeMar DeRozan brought up the point that Coby White has the authority and the trust of his coaches and teammates to say, hey, we need to run this play, to the point to where DeMar DeRozan in that press conference, in that interview inside the locker room after last night's game, pretty much said that Coby White, he did in that game against the Phoenix Suns come out and say, hey, I think we should run this play. And Billy Donovan scratched the play that he was drawing up, and Coby White was able to go ahead and take advantage. If you guys remember vividly, it was about 2 possessions in that fourth quarter to where Coby White ran pick and roll with Nikola Vucevic, and he got downhill on both possessions and was able to get a basket. Now, what is that telling me? That's telling me that Coby White has to continue to come out and evolve out of that shell. And that's something that we've been questioning for a very long time now, at least for this season. I'll just say that much. At least for this season, we've been asking Coby White to demand the ball a little bit more, to ask for last-second shots a little bit more, to be able to initiate the offense a little bit more down the stretch, because typically Coby White, for the first 3.5 quarters, he's on. But then in those last 5 minutes, when everything gets tight and things are in the clutch, we see a lot of ball dominance by DeMar DeRozan. So we've been asking, at least over here on Shy Bulls Podcast, what is going on and why isn't Coby White initiating that offense within the clutch? We've seen that he's very, very capable of making good decisions, and that includes putting the ball in the basket. He's able to take care of the basketball. Last night had 9 assists with only 1 turnover. Ended the game with 26 points, the leading scorer for the Chicago Bulls. And we have seen within those recent games that Coby White, he had some mistakes in some games to where he had a high volume of turnovers. But for the most part, the turnovers have been down for Coby White. And that's what we want to see more out of Coby White. And I believe that's how he can continue to grow if he gets those opportunities to take the last second shot or initiate the offense in one of those key possessions of the game. So Coby White, it's been placed out there now by Demar Derozan that you have the green light. The question I have to ask is, will you now take advantage of it? Will you now take advantage of it? Because Coby White has the ability to get downhill. He did it several times last night to where he hit KD with some nasty hesitation moves to get to the basket and put the ball in the basket. He was able to operate with all the things being thrown at him and make solid and good decisions for his team. So Coby White, will you rise up to the challenge? Will you accept the challenge and say, hey, I'm one of the new leaders here. I'm a guy that's continuously improving. Give me the damn ball and get out the way. That's the type of mentality I want to see from Coby White. Now that green light has been placed out there and those questions have been answered with us constantly asking, why is Coby White deferring to DeMar DeRozan? And I'm not going to sit here and disrespect DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, when he's on, he's on. You absolutely can depend on him to close games. Let's not get it twisted. But in certain games, during certain moments, to where you need a little bit more offense or somebody to initiate the offense to get a better shot, Coby White is very capable. He should not go ghost. He should be present, and he should be able to take advantage, especially with the speed he has going down the lane, with the IQ that he shows by getting other guys involved and be able to help create open shots for his teammates. And on the defensive side, he's able to sit in the chair and defend pretty damn well on most possessions. So you got to be able to trust Coby White. Coby White has to go out here and trust himself, and he has to go out here and execute to let the league know that he has arrived. We've seen great outputs, great performances from Coby White, but we need to see if Coby White is capable of being an all-star caliber player. And we know that he's a starter. He's earned that. We know he's capable of being a starter in this league. We want to see what's the ceiling for Coby White now. Is Coby White ceiling just a starter in his league? Is it he's going to be an all-star? Is it he's going to turn into a superstar? That's all still to be determined by the way we watch Coby White for the rest of this season and years to come, because the Bulls got him for the low. The Bulls got Coby White for the low for all the production he's been putting out. The Bulls got Coby White for the low on the 3-year deal. But I do know once that 3-year deal is up, he will get a bag. And correct me if I'm wrong, this guy is only 23, 24 years old. So he has a lot of room to grow before he's in that what a lot of people call their prime. So I believe that experience right now with vets like DeMar DeRozan, who's capable of closing, but sometimes might need that assistance. Coby White, hopefully can answer that call. So I hope that we can do that. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling about that down below. Do you think Coby White, now that the green light has been placed out there, do you think Coby White will take advantage of those green lights that has been given to him? I'm not saying be excessive with it, but you be strategic with it to where you can go ahead and get it done for your team, because what matters for the Chicago Bulls is putting dubs in the win column. That's all that really matters. So y'all let me know down below. Now, before we go, I want to talk about how the hell did the Chicago Bulls allow Drew Eubanks to flip the game? They completely allowed Drew Eubanks to flip the game. Drew Eubanks came out in that third quarter, and I believe he was given a job to be a disruptor. Get into the head of the Chicago Bulls players, make things chippy, and change the tone of the game. Because in the first half, the Chicago Bulls, you've seen multiple back-to-back possessions from the Bulls defense that had the Phoenix Suns looking like they didn't know what the hell was going on. But then in that third quarter, Drew Eubanks was inserted into the game, and he changed it for the better as far as if you're looking at it from the Phoenix Suns side. Drew Eubanks came out there. He started harassing people. He even drew a tech. but it didn't matter because it fed the Bulls. They joined right into the fiasco and got completely thrown off their game. He got Andre Drummond to push him in the back. You seen one of those incidents, and after that, Andre Drummond was yelling, and then it was like 3 or 4 bad possessions from Andre Drummond, and it was like, yeah, let's get him out of here, and he flipped that game. I think it was I really believe in that moment it was time for Billy Donovan to respond with a technical foul himself. With a technical foul himself, or a guy that you can get in and come in and be a little rah-rah guy to get a tech himself to try to flip the momentum back into your favor, because the Bulls were starting to let go of the rope and they eventually let go of the game to where the Phoenix Suns took a 1-point lead and the Bulls had to battle back. I understand there was a few plays that could have went our way, but at the end of the day, the Bulls, by being up 20 plus points for majority of this game, was supposed to hold on at least to complete the game. But it is the NBA. Teams come back all the time, and that's just what happens. But Drew Eubanks, he's a mofo that took a win. They stole a win from the Chicago Bulls, and the Chicago Bulls let them. It's like the Chicago Bulls opened their door and say, take whatever you want. And Drew Eubanks went in there, grabbed the TVs, grabbed all the furniture, even the pots, pans, and spoons, and walked out of there with a W. And the Bulls let him. They tried to put up a little fight. It was like, nah, you're taking too much. So they tried to close the door, but Drew Eubanks said, nah, I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? So the Bulls, I think that's a great learning point for them, is to not allow guys to take them off their game. You have to remain focused. These games, especially in sports, momentum means everything most of the time in these sports. And the Chicago Bulls completely let one slip away. You can't continue to allow that. You have to be on your P's and Q's. But I think this can absolutely be a great learning moment for the Bulls, especially with all the young guys that have been getting minutes and being able to come in and play. You got to be able to hold your composure and say, hey, dude trying to do something, but we about to show them what we really made of. And at that point, to where the Phoenix Suns was supposed to make a run, the Bulls were supposed to lock in, and Billy Donovan was supposed to get his boys ready to go close this game. And then Billy Donovan, he had his own issues as well. The first half, he was coaching his tail off. The second half, my God, while the onslaught was coming, the landslide was coming, he allowed the Phoenix Suns to do whatever, you know what I'm saying, for the most part, and refused to call timeout to stop the bleeding. It was too late to stop the bleeding by the time the Phoenix Suns already grabbed all momentum and was refusing to give it back. But hey, that's it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Just want to touch on a few points from last night's game. So make sure you tune in, hit that like button, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. We are giving you live calls for every single Chicago Bulls game as time permits. And we are giving you daily content. So tune in, hit that like button, share, and subscribe. If you want to call in and leave your take on anything Chicago Bulls, we have a voice mailbag to where you can call in, leave your take, and we will react to it right here on Shy Bulls Podcast. That number is 773-242-9219. This is another episode of Shy Bulls Podcast. I'm Bobby. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.